I will tell you is if you have family members who want to gift you money, you can do that. It can be used to pay down your principal, right? Or if let's say you're getting married soon, you want to put money into a savings account for down payment. You can do that. There are special accounts for that. I know there are some banks who still have that first-time home buyer savings account, which you have to buy within the first 5 years. You have to buy within 5 years, if I remember correctly, of opening that account, but it pays a much higher interest rate, and you're not taxed on that interest. It has to go towards buying a home in Ohio. That's an Ohio-specific savings account. Very few banks are doing those, so you have to find the banks that are. Working on putting it into a high interest yield savings account while you're taxed on it can help build up a little bit faster. So work on savings. Also, don't be bogged down by a lot of these big grants, right? So I'm seeing a lot of my buyers are like, oh, this big grant's coming up $20,000. But then they're also willing to overpay on a home to get that grant money. So grant money, you typically have to pay back. Read the fine lines. If you saw Adrian's last video about kids she's educating on reading the fine lines, read the fine lines. Do you have to pay that back, right? So some do, some you don't. I don't specialize in all of those. I know about them. You need to ask more detail. What does the fine line say? Do you have to pay that back? If life circumstances happen the next 2 years, let's say you just find out you're expecting triplets, quadruplets, and you need to buy a bigger house, well, you have to pay that $20,000 back. Will you then have negative equity in your house, right? Will you be able to sell it? Could you potentially use it as a rental? These are all things to think about. So don't get tied down to free money. I'm always told if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. And is it worth overspending $10,000 to gain $10,000 if you got to pay all $20,000 back if you got to sell it in 5 years, right? So think about that. Maybe I'm a Debbie Downer because I lived through the crash once, right? So we saw what happened when people were upside down in homes. And while, yes, I can help you work through that, and there is no shame in that whatsoever, just try to not happen if we can at all avoid it. So not to scare you, buying a home is great. You should make money on homes if you buy or sell, as long as you're not forced to buy or sell. What I mean by that is if you are forced, if you're relocated, God forbid something happens and you just have to sell it, right? What happens if you're upside down? Again, reach out to me. I can help you through all that. And if I can't, I can send you to Adrian and she can help you through that as well. Right, so there are avenues we can get through that. But my job is to help you be a little bit cautious, but also, know when to push the brake, know when to push the gas. So as always, if you have any questions, want to talk about this in further, I love buyer's consultations. We sit down for about an hour and really go through everything you're going to need to think about with buying a home. Really important for first-time home buyers. Anybody who hasn't done this, honestly, in the past 3 years, because so much has changed as far as rules and regulations. So any questions about real estate, I'm your go-to gal, Alex Morgan Johnson, Weichert Realtors, Morgan Realty Group. Thanks so much. Bye.